Guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm back with another recap of College Chill Celebrity Edition, episode 6, season 2, The Breaking Point. So, it's now what? Halloween is approaching, which is Amber's favorite holiday. Like, she gets to, dress up how she want to dress up and, do what they got to do. So, basically, everybody dresses up in their favorite costume. So, we got a scary man, Eminem as Amber Rose as Eminem. Then we got Tiffany as a school ghoul. Then we got Quay and Parker. They got like these kind of like a zombie type situation, but they like a zombie girl and a zombie boy like that. And then we have Orion as the Oscar the Ounce. We got Ray J. He was like Freddy Krueger in a sense. And Joseline was Harley Quinn. Yeah, so they go to their classes. They have what, civil rights class. They did what they had to do. It was good. Then they went to their African American lit class. That's just where things went left. So Orion was asked to read a poem called Harlem Sweeties. It was basically about Langston Hughes writing a poem about his admiration for black women, no matter the shade of black, all women. So that was that. Then there was another poem that he had about racial injustice. I forgot what it was about, but they read that and talked about it. The professor talked about it. And they was asked, what are your racial mountains in your life that you feel like you need to overcome? So everybody said their piece, but when it came for Amber to basically give her opinion on what was happening, because she basically feel like she doesn't fit in with the black people and she doesn't fit in with the white people, so she's kind of like in limbo in between, and it's like, dang, all she can do is be herself. So Joseline takes it upon herself. She throws a few shots at her and she turns around, and then Amber gets up and she leaves and goes to calm down. Then she comes back in like 5-10 minutes later, and they're still talking about their racial injustice and their racial mountains. And then Jocelyn just kept going on and on and on, and it's like basically singling out Amber. And at one point, Amber had enough and was like, "Listen, just so you know, they didn't film this part, but you already know what happened. Both and not Amber and Jocelyn, they got into it, and after they was able to escort them out by the producers, the professor was like, listen, I'm sorry, class, that I couldn't control what was happening, but at this point, I just want y'all to know we was like, this is basically what's been going on to this day, and it's like now everybody kind of see where Amber been talking about her whole life, the racial injustice that she basically been seeing. Like, her life basically just played out in front of their eyes, and nobody was expecting that to happen, but that's what happened. So the professor ended class. Quay and Ray J, they went outside talking. They was just like, well, dang, this didn't have to happen. Parker and Iman, they was talking like this, and this was just not supposed to go the way it's supposed to go. There was other ways to hit the conflict, and that right there, that's kind of like a reason to be expelled. Like, basically all their hard work went down the drain, because it's literally like they only had a week left of school. Like, you couldn't just hold it out a little bit longer. I understand certain stuff that people say gets under your skin, but you gotta learn to be the bigger person. Just be like, okay, woosah, woosah. She could have just walked out the class again and calmed herself down, and then like once class was over, went back to the professor and just tried to do what she had to do. But it's like, dang, like it had to come to that. So they end up pulling up to the house. Jocelyn, she was with the producers while Amber, Quay, and Ray J rolled back home. Iman, Orion, Parker, and Tiffany, they rolled back home in the second sprinter. So by the time they got in, Amber was speaking to the producers, and the producers was like, listen, they don't condone no violence up there. You got to pack up and go to a hotel. And Amber was like, I don't feel like it's right that I should do. Y'all should run back the tape and see that she was taunting me and she did a gesture and stuff like that. It's just unfair that like I gotta get penalized. I mean, she did do the first punch, so like technically I could see both sides of the situations. Like if you didn't put your hands on her, y'all probably would have been good. Y'all could have, did what y'all did. But then like, at the same time, that was one of Dr. Petty's first rules. Like, no fighting, nothing. Hold yourself with a great role of decorum. Like, uphold high class and excellence that you're supposed to be. Like, this is a HBCU, a black college. And you fighting, that basically just gives black people a bad name all across the board. So I kind of see where they was coming from. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I kind of feel bad for Amber. But at the same time, Amber shouldn't have threw the first punch. It was just like, now y'all gotta basically be held accountable for y'all actions, because the consequences of your actions is basically getting y'all where y'all at now. So both of them got sent to a hotel for the night, while the rest of the guys, well, the rest of the crew, they basically getting ready for a sexy Halloween night. So guess they gonna do it up. But at the same part, at one point, Amber, Quay, and Tiffany was talking about how their room was haunted. Like they all had the same dreams, that they thought Amon, Orion, and Quay was like running in the middle of the night, and then it just so happened to be in the middle of the night where I know I backtracked a little bit, where they heard the knocking on the windows, the door open, and all this crazy stuff. And Quay looked it up. He was like, the footsteps, the knocking, the creaking of the door, that their room was haunted. So later on that night, I believe Ray J, I'm backtracking. This is before the fight happened. So Ray J comes upstairs and he sleeps with Amber, and that's how that went. So yeah, now, cause Quay was still upset with the fact that Amber was fighting on Jocelyn got into about the aux cord, and Quay felt like there was something deeper than that. But everybody was brushing off like, why are you really upset about an aux cord? But whatever. So after the whole fight incident, Iman apologized to Quay. He was like, listen, I really thought that it was not as deep as it was, but now I realized it was deeper than what it was supposed to be, and like, dang, I apologize. I'm sorry for that. So mind you, after they did that, whatever. Um, Tiffany's trying to seduce Orion, so she basically talking to Quay like, listen, I'm throwing out these hints. Hopefully he could pick up when I'm about to go wash my face or whatever. So she finished taking a shower, cleaning up her face, and she goes downstairs and she sees that he's cooking, because she was like, oh, it smells good down here. And he's throwing down, he got some lobster tails or crab tails or whatever, and a pie, making some corn, some pasta, and everything's just like, And she's steadily throwing these shots at him, and he's really not picking them. He's basically just focused on cooking. She threw stuff at his feet. She telling him everything. He's just like, well, let me just keep doing what I'm doing. So whatever, at this point, she started, oh, let it go. But then she also said, I'm going to try to give it another shot. So that's how that went. Now, Dr. Petty tells them about their grades. Everybody did good, but we don't know about Jocelyn and Amber. She's not going to speak on that situation. Basically, Parker, she got the highest GPA in the whole group of them, and everybody was like, "Okay, I'm actually surprised at Ray J. Congratulations, Ray J. He did his thing this time, but he's going to find ways to bring up his 2Cs. Quay, on the other hand, he got good grades, but at the same point, he got 2Ds, and he's like, I gotta find a way to pick that up. So Dr. Petty told me like, listen, as a student, you gotta find ways to do time management and apply yourself to what you got going on, opposed to your extracurricular activities as well. So that's that. So he's feeling kind of somber about that. Everybody's celebratory of their grades and their achievements. I'm actually pretty good. Like Iman did well, Ray did well, and Quay, I honestly feel like there's no way that you could have got them grades like that, because Parker and both Tiffany was in extracurricular activities, and they still managed to get a good enough grade. So yeah, you gotta step your game up. So he did that. After that, Ray J called Nene, was telling her like, listen, I'm about to graduate this time. I'm on season 2. I got my A's and I got 2 C's, and she was telling him like, listen, you gotta bring that up. I want you to have all A's. And then he was like, I want your husband's suit so I can wear it for my graduation. She was like, yeah, I got you. And they basically call you later. So now we at the end of the rope. Basically ASU and College Hill does not condone any type of violence whatsoever. So now Dr. Petty wants to meet up with Amber and Joseline. So now forward for next week's episode, Dr. Petty, gets meets up with Amber and Joseline, and basically tells them how Jack could have like condoned himself a little bit better, but we gonna see. And then also they go to the Richard something house, Harris house, to sit down where some of the men from the Montgomery boycott sat down and do a little history lesson on that. So we gonna see. And then also Tiffany's still trying to seduce Orion, so she ended up running him a bubble bath. And Orion was like, "Yeah, she see your king. When the queen sees the king, that when all you can do." So eventually, in their room, in the bathroom, Quay was in his bed, and he see that them two hug. Like, oh my God, he basically got it dressed in front of Tiffany, and we gonna see what goes down if it goes down. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this recap of College Hill Season 2, Episode 6, The Breaking Point. Hopefully, both Joseline and Amber are able to tell their sides and they don't get expelled. But at the rate they're going from what they showed, I think they're both about to be expelled, and that's just what it is because they offer a zero tolerance rule of fighting. So that was just a breaking point, and I think that's just what it is. So, with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.